in recovery. I'm not going to be here for too long. I just wanted to reach out to my people, my followers, my listeners, downloaders, whatever, especially those addicts in the world that are still suffering in silence due to addiction. That is my main purpose for being here. I know it's the weekend or it's the end of the weekend, and I survived. I survived. I did not do any methamphetamine. I did not think about any methamphetamine. I did not call anyone in regard to scoring any methamphetamine. I just simply ignored it. I um, submerged myself in regard to meetings. Yesterday, I went to about four fucking meetings, 12-step meetings. I'm not working at the moment. I was fired a couple of days ago from. I keep saying I was fired, but I wasn't fired. I let myself go, but they had the opportunity to say that I was fired, first or whatever the case may be. But anyway, I have a lot of free time on my hands in order to reach out to you guys, work on my social media platforms, etc., etc. But considering the events that happened in regard to me being fired and all of that type of stuff, you would think that I'm bitter about it and it would be something to trigger me into relapsing. But I'm quite thrilled that the universe came between myself and that particular job that I was working at because either way it goes, it wasn't going to work. I hope that excuse me. I hope that you guys can hear me. I'm on my other microphone that I use for my podcast. It's a good microphone. I just need to get another. I forgot what those microphones called that you pin on your shirts, but I need to get another one of those that is compatible with my new phone. But anyway, I'm at the park at my favorite park and it's not too far from my apartment. You guys know that I sleep in my car at this particular park for a peace of mind, and because I refuse to allow the United States to tell me how to live. You know what I mean? Just because I have a fireplace, I have a bathroom, a washer and dryer, and a kitchen, and all of that type of stuff, a stove to cook, and whatever else the case may be, does not necessarily mean that I am happy. A lot of people look at some of these celebrities; they have everything that they can possibly own in the world, but they are still bitter. All of that shit does not make them happy, and just like my circumstances, all of that stuff that I have, the washer and dryer, and me living across from the pool area and whatever else, none of that shit matters to me being free like I am right now. Just free to be with you guys, free to play my tambourine if I want to, free to play my meditation music if I want to, just free. I don't have anyone above me, stomping and shit like that, because they're irritated because I'm living. I don't have anyone next door to me or anything like that. I just don't have anyone bothering me. I am, separate. There's people around me, but they're doing their own thing, like I'm doing my own thing, and I like that. And if I want a fireplace, if I can go to a campground and build a huge motherfucking fire, and that would be my fireplace amongst the universe's mansion, or y'all know what I'm trying to say. And if you don't, then hey. But anyway, I'll get into what I want to express for my addicts that are still suffering in silence in regards to the weekend here momentarily. I'm just giving you guys a opportunity to join me if you so. Oh, I'm just giving you guys an opportunity to join me if you so shall. I do understand that I haven't been as active on this particular platform like I should, so therefore, gaining you guys. How can I say it? Therefore, attracting you guys, it's going to be a little bit of work, but I leave that up to the universe. To bring forth my tribe. If it's meant for you guys to hear the words that are, coming out of my mouth, then, source, the universe, the ancestors, the invisible will bring you guys here and go from there. But anyway, I know you guys, I know I am an addict and I am an addict and I'm supposed to refrain from any mind altering substances. There is no excuse for me smoking marijuana. Well, there is an excuse. I refuse to take all of these conventional medications in order to suppress ailments that basically bring upon other ailments. Oh, damn. Speaking of ailments, I need to go get my medication from CVS before they close. What time is it? Oh, 4, going on 5. Okay, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to be an advocate, if I'm going to talk the talk, if I'm going to walk the walk, and if I'm going to be that peer support specialist. But you know what? There are peer support specialists that I know that still smoke marijuana. You know, the biggest thing is the harsh man-made drugs like methamphetamine, spice, and all of those type of drugs. That should be the main topic at hand. Don't get me wrong; people do have a problem with marijuana. I have been to 12 steps where people that was their drug of choice that they had an issue with. And I may have an issue with it. You know what I'm saying? Should I wake up to it and then go to bed to it? So I may need to slow down and just use it for medicinal purposes only. Hold on one sec. I have all of the sun glaring in the background. That's okay. This is Mother Nature, and she wants to be a part of my video, so I'm allowing her to do just that. Anyway, like I said, I made it through. Not only this weekend. Well, the day's not over with yet. I still have opportunities to relapse, but that's not going to happen. But I made it through several motherfucking weekends without any issues and any temptations of relapsing. And if I can do this, you guys, I know that you all can as well. Yes, I understand that it's not going to be an easy task, especially for you individuals who have been addicts for some motherfucking years. That's all you know is that lifestyle, and in some cases, that's all a lot of people want to know. It's just that lifestyle. They don't want to know anything else better than that. Myself personally, I knew that I have a better purpose, and I knew that. This is just not me in regards to that whole dark. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure that my microphone didn't get broke. I'm using this, and I like this little part right here. And surprisingly, I take this microphone with me everywhere. Put it in. I'm very impetuous when it comes to my microphones. I fucked up my first microphone, but I love this microphone. I treat this microphone like my baby. So I'm surprised I haven't broken it yet. Knock on wood, since I'm sitting on the picnic table. Knock on this wood that it doesn't come up damaged anytime soon. But anyway, Sunday, Friday is the biggest triggers. For Friday and Saturday are the biggest triggers for me. Sunday, people usually aren't too active in regards to the drug life, and don't get me wrong. A lot of motherfuckers are. They don't give a fuck if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They don't care. They're going to be active in the drug life. But for most individuals, Friday and Saturday is good enough. We done geeked and tweet and sucked and fucked and watched porn and whatever else case may be. That's good enough for us. Sunday is the day of resting because we done been up for who knows how many hours or whatever the case may be, just partying alone. So that Sunday usually is a day of rest for most people. That Sunday up until probably that motherfucking Thursday, depending on how much you've been partying. But I know that Fridays and Saturdays were pretty much my downfalls. People will start texting, or I'll start reaching out to individuals, and before you know it, the universe has granted me what I've been looking for, which is dope, and I'm high and I'm searching for dick and y'all know the story. It happens, unfortunately, but thank the Lord that any of that has not come about in my life, and hopefully it has not come about in your guys' life either. That's one reason why I'm here, even though there's nobody here listening to me. It doesn't matter. I have to continue on doing sources. I have to continue doing what Source wants me to do on his behalf, and that is continue using my life as a vessel in order to reach out to those addicts that need to hear my voice, my story the most. And I know you guys are listening. I know you guys are out there. I know you guys are afraid to place that one foot in front of the other. I know that you guys, 9:55 time of this recording or time of this live chat, I know that you guys are afraid of change because you're so used to being abused because methamphetamine or the drug world or the drug matrix world or whatever whatever y'all want to call it, it's abuse. It's mental abuse. It's physical abuse. It's spiritual abuse. It's verbal. It's just abuse in general. And some people just like a woman in a bad relationship. Some women don't know their worth, so all they know is that particular relationship, and they feel like being beat and verbally abused or whatever else is love. And a lot of people in the drug world think that being abused by Satan and those demons is love, and Satan loves no one but himself. He don't even love the demons that work on his behalf. That's how selfish his ass is. So if you don't like the demons that are working on his behalf, why the fuck do you think he would like you? It's all smoke and mirrors. But anyway, I'm a living, walking example. And don't get me wrong, I do not want to submerge myself with these 12-step meetings. Some of them can be boring as fuck, but lately, a lot of the meetings that I've been going to have been very fulfilling. There's been a heartfelt story here and there, and it's just been great to be of service in regard to my 12 steps. But there is something in regard to one of the 12 steps that I have an issue with, and that is making amends with all other people that you hurt during your, time of addiction. And, the big book failed to realize. Maybe they haven't failed to realize they're doctors and shit like that, so they, their brains are a little bit more advanced than mine. But they failed. I don't want to say they failed to realize, but they have to realize that people have hurt us big time during our addictions, and they have not apologized to us not once. But we're supposed to make an amends to those individuals. And I get it, making amends with individuals that we hurt during our addiction is not for them. It's pretty much for us. So I get that aspect of it all. But, if I were to write that book, which I haven't, I would have said, make amends to yourself. Well, first of all, make that amends to God first, because, you totally disrespected him in regard to merging off the straight and narrow and doing drugs in the first motherfucking place. Then make that amends to yourself, because you have fucked your own self up. Your mind, body, spirit, 1244 time of this live stream, you have fucked your own self up in regard to mind, body, spirit, and some of everything else, abusing drugs, sex, whatever you were abusing, you damaged yourself. And you may not have damaged yourself in a physical way, but you have damaged yourself in a spiritual way. And if you are your number one prized possession, and if you're going to make an amends with anybody, you should stand your ass in front of that motherfucking mirror and look at yourself and make that amends with your own damn self, and then merge off and start making amends with people that you may have hurt during the battle of your addiction. But I mean, I'm not here to tell the individuals of the big book who are no longer residing here on earth. I'm not here to rewrite the book or anything like that. I'm just stating how I feel in regard to. I'm not even sure what step that is. It could be the fourth, fifth, sixth step. I'm not sure. I'm just stating how I feel about that particular step, and how I feel that you should have made the amends to God first, and then make the amends to yourself, and then branch off and make the amends to other people. But I didn't write the big book, like I said. So anyway, 1414 time of this live stream. Anyway, my addicts that are still suffering, it's a beautiful day here in my hometown as of right now, Arizona, and I will be heading to Illinois within a couple of days, depending on the job situation, because I haven't landed a job yet. I do have an opportunity to get a job working with troubled youth, and that pays like $20-something an hour. 1444 time of the live stream. But the only thing is I never done a application for an independent contractor, and they're asking me all of these business questions, and I don't have a business. I'm working on that, but I don't have a business as of yet. So they're asking me all of these questions, and in order to proceed with the application, I have to put some form of an answer in there. So I'm going to reach out to them as of tomorrow and see, is there any other way to get past all of that? I mean, I'm not sure, but if I don't land a job before I leave, I'm more than likely just going to stay in Illinois until after the holidays, come back here, and go from there. But while I'm in Illinois, I'm going to work and stuff like that, so that I'm not sitting around bored and all of that type of shit. And I can have, money here and there to rent a car and do what the fuck I want to do, and not always be submerged around family. But there's some big changes that are approaching that I haven't told my family about, and that is the fact that Source, the Universe, the Invisible are guiding me and my family's spiritual lineage in a whole different direction, and that direction has nothing to do with being in the States. And I'm getting so much positive influence thanks to YouTube, where I'm deciding to reside is, yeah, I guess you could say a third world, 16 time of the live stream. I guess you could say it's the third world country. A good friend of mine is from that particular country, and they put a buzz in my ear and basically told me that you need to retire in my country because, basically I would come up. And I thought about it, and I'm just like, why do I need to wait in order to retire in your country in order to experience life there? That's the thing about this whole American dream that people are just so stuck on. There is no American dream. Who told us that we need to be working 40 hours a motherfucking week or whatever the case may be in order to sustain life? Who said that? When I started researching my people, I mean, we're not just in Africa. We're all over the motherfucking place. I was shocked to see my people in Romania. Okay? But I shouldn't be, considering my DNA. I'm African. That's the greater portion, and then next is the European portion, which is Scandinavian, Finnish, and something else. And those are on the region of Russia. So that lets you know right there that these individuals was dipping in my ancestors' coochies and slinging them dicks. I mean, excuse my French, but I just have to keep it real. It was going down in regards to sex back in them days. Other than that, I wouldn't have all of these other bloodlines, in my system. And I'm proud to be all of those different things. I'm even 8% Middle Eastern. Where the fuck that came into the picture at, I do not know. But I'm 8% Middle Eastern. So my thing is, I pretty much learned all what I want to learn in regard to my first, second, and third cousins here in the States. They're not talking about shit, a great majority of them. And, I've learned what I can learn from them, and I'm not inspired by them. I'm not aspired by them. They don't give me any type of inspiration to do anything. So my thing is, if I have, what's the point of getting your fucking DNA done if you're not going to explore your family bloodline? I have relatives, I think in Denmark. I just have a whole bunch of relatives that reside overseas. And why the fuck do I want to remain here in the States hanging around these first, second, and third cousins that aren't talking about shit? I want to leave. Just put it that way. I want to leave. And I want to learn about my family's lineage, especially on the spiritual aspect. And I feel like I will gain a lot of information elsewhere, and I've been told by a handful of people that I have a certain je ne sais quoi about myself, a certain energy, a certain aura, a certain light, that will do well overseas. I'm not saying, I'm not popping my collar, making it seem like, I'm the shit or whatever, but even here in the States, people would not go out to clubs or anything like that unless I was there. And I'm being honest with you. People, oh, you're not going out tonight? Oh, well, fuck it, I'm not going out either. I mean, they literally would not go out to the club if I was not going out. So I already know that I can attract. And I'm not bougie. I'm not. My head is not stuck up my ass like I'm better than everybody else. So I know that when if I know there is no if. I know that when I do decide to go over to a different country, I am not going to bring that U.S. attitude with me because there's going to be a point where I want to come back to this bitch and visit or whatever else. So I don't want to go over. I don't want to go to where I am going to being disrespectful. I definitely want to be respectful of the culture and whatever else. It's no different than different cultures coming here in America and trying to get adapted to our way of living, which is a bunch of bullshit. But getting adapted to our way of living. There are people that I know here in the states that don't know a lick of English, and they're from Mexico, or shit. Some of my girlfriend that I'm talking about, some of her family don't know a lick of English, but they're still here. They're still living, and they're still they're making it happen, and that gives me courage, inspiration, and um, aspiration to go for what I know. Yes, family is one thing, but family also can hold you back from your light shining more than what it already is. I mean, family can hold you back from your true potential. And even though I have love for my family and whatever the case, that's another reason why I'm going home to spend, some time with my family as much as I possibly can. And if I don't, score a job here, I will stay there, like I said, throughout the new year and spend, that time with them then and explain to them that, unless y'all decide to, I don't want to say catch up, but unless y'all decide to, do something else, it's going to be a long time before I come back to the States because once I get to where I'm going to, I want to focus on my life. Um, my life is just not meant to be here. It's meant to be elsewhere. Culture, it's just time to close the chapters and go elsewhere. And the U.S. isn't getting any better, especially with Trump ass in office, the orange man in office. It's not getting any motherfucking better. So why not go? My thing is there's a whole different way of living. There's the Western way of living, and then there's the Eastern way of living. And the more that I research the Eastern way of living, I'm starting to dislike the Western way of living, which is pretty much fill us up with pills and send us on our way. They don't really believe in natural medications around this motherfucker. They will literally argue and fight with you in regard to natural medications. I understand that. You can't really depend on. Well, you can depend on natural medications. That's what the fuck the universe made it for. You just like with any drug or natural medication or just with any like with anything, you just can't abuse it. Yeah, I'm just over it. I'm over it, you guys. Over it. Sun is going down, starting to cool off a little bit. I'm probably going to podcast for a little bit so I can reach out to those individuals and then post on my YouTube and Instagram platform and Facebook platform. I need to catch up to speed on that. I've given myself a break from a lot of different things, including social media, because social media it can be the devil. It can be sinister. There's a lot of bullshit that happens behind the scenes that keeps people like you and I on their platform, all the shit that they do to fuck us up and all of that type of shit. It gets annoying. And I don't want to be manipulated. I was manipulated when I was growing up, and it doesn't feel good to have people probe your mind for the sake of their benefit. And, I just don't have time for it. So I just created some aloofness between myself and social media. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to end this. But once again, all of my addicts in the world that are still suffering due to addiction, I made it. Knock on wood, I will make it through the whole day without, and I know that I will because I'm just not in that phase of wanting to even think about relapsing. So, if I can do this, you guys, I know you guys are tempted. Y'all looking at that pipe right now. You looking at whatever you getting ready to pop the porn CD in a DVD player or however y'all do it these days. You're ready to do all of that. But the thing of it is, we have a buffer in between to make positive decisions for ourselves. Um, and thank God that we do get a buffer in between, because the shit that I think about, if I didn't have a buffer in between, I would be fucked up, okay? So it's good that the universe gives us that buffer in order to think about if we really want what we are trying to manifest. And a great majority of the time when I was fucking with methamphetamine, I ignored those buffers, and I wanted what I wanted, and the universe gave it to me, and I suffered the consequences in return. So anyway, um, thanks for the two or three people that entered and left, but I have to continue to do sources work regardless of regardless if there's people listening or not. I have to continue on. But anyway, you guys, y'all have a good one. I will, be coming back on here. I will be coming back on the platform intermittently, to build more trust with you guys and break the ice and all of that type of stuff. Gain y'all trust and, get y'all gain y'all trust and all of that shit. But anyway, I'm out. Y'all be good. My addicts that are still suffering in silence, y'all got this. I am almost through the weekend, and like I said, I don't know how many weekends I have. I don't know how I don't know how many weekends have came and gone, but I have surpassed all of those weekends, and I have not done any drugs at all. Well, shit, 2 weeks, and maybe a day or so now. That I have I surpassed, I think, 2 weekends, and I have not thought about any drug activity, and no scallywags. Quite frankly, the state tried to test me the other day. I was sitting somewhere. Where was I at? It's in my head. I was sitting somewhere, and all of a sudden, a dude on the bike without no shirt on, just man flesh. No, I was in front of Jack in the Box, and I was eating and minding my business, and all of a sudden Satan, threw the reel out there, thinking that I was going to, bite the bait. And the first piece of bait that he threw out was a dude on the bike, like I told y'all, no shirt on, a little ass crack showing, yeah, I mean, a workable piece that I probably could have got some drugs from, and I ignored that test. And he, before that test, there was a Hispanic male that was standing on like the light post, was leaning on the light post. Had tight pants on, little bows showing and shit like that. So after the first test I passed, Satan then brought over the Mexican dude. He walked over from the light post all the way to my car and was standing on there like on the phone or whatever, little dick print sticking out. That was the perfect opportunity for me to, basically roll down my window and be like, hey, you know where to get some G? I ignored that whole motherfucking test. Then later on that day, myself and a good friend of mine went to a 12-step meeting. But before we went, we were sitting in the parking lot just chit-chatting, and there was a older dude. It don't matter when I'm on methamphetamine. You can be old. It don't matter. What I want is what I want. But the person was, looking down on the ground, I guess for cracked pebbles or whatever they were looking for. And they weren't close to my car, but eventually they made their way close to my car. And like I told my friend, this is the perfect opportunity for me to roll my window down and be like, hey, where the G at? If I had a pipe on me, I could have waved the pipe in front of them. I would have turned on some porn. I would have did anything possible to get that motherfucker on my passenger side and get that dick. I ignored all of that shit. And Satan is mad. Satan doesn't want me to surpass his tests. He wants me to fail them. He wants me to not reach that light, because he knows that I'm almost there in regard to reaching that light at the end of the tunnel and receiving all of the abundance that source has promised me and promised a lot of you guys. He don't want me to get that abundance, and he's going to try and stop me at all motherfucking costs. Like I told you, he was reeling the bait just yesterday, and he's going to continue to reel that bait. But as long as I stay strong, as long as I stay positive, as long as I stay optimistic, and as long as I keep the invisible in my life and let them take care of Satan and those demons or whatever the case may be, temptation, all that shit, while I focus on going to meetings and reaching out to addicts and just, just doing what I'm doing, everything will be okay. It will be okay, at least for me. I can't say for any other addicts out there, but it will be okay for me. All right, you guys, I'm going to end this. Once again, thanks to the handful of individuals that came through. I appreciate the love, regardless if y'all stayed or not. And thanks to anyone in advance that takes the opportunity to listen to this video, especially all of my addicts out there that need to hear it the most. All right, you guys, happy sober living, namaste, and until my next live stream and or chat. Until my next live stream and or video upload. Y'all have a good one, and namaste.